this year's Japji Sahib course. So next year, let's see what we can get Ripon to do when we get to do a talk next year or something in it. You just like Kirtan. So thank you so much. That was beautiful. Um, and yeah, so we got Manpreet Singh this week. Next week, Guru Kirat Singh, aka Kotha Guru, coming down from North America. He's from Canada, so he'll be here next week as well. That's not going to be a Japji Sahib course, but that'll be a talk. By Guru Kirat Singh spent a lot of time in India, especially when there was the whole movement with Bhai Amanpal Singh Ji that happened early on this year. So he spent time with Bhai Amanpal Singh Ji during that whole Vaheed. So he'll be here next week for this talk in the evening. So as well as the Japji Sahib course, that will be a very good talk as well. So I'd recommend you guys come down and see his experiences of being there with Bhai Amanpal Singh Ji and the Singhs in India at that time. The week after that, we'll have the Japji Sahib course running for 3 more weeks, and then we're finished. Right, so the week after that, if I'm correct, is Simran Kaur. Then the week after that is Alamjeet Kaur, who'll be coming in and filling in for a week. And then the week after that will be Manpreet Singh, and then that'll be the end of the Japji Sahib course, which will finish on the mid-December, whichever Sunday that is. We'll have a break for a week or two, because the week after that we have the basis of Sikhi. That is New Year's Eve, I think, the 31st, which is a Sunday. And then on the 7th, I think it is, or the 6th of January, we start a new course, and that will be on Ardas. So going through the Ardas from the start, Pagoti Simar Ke, all the way to Nanak Nam Chardi Kala, Tere Pane Sarbat Da Pala. What does everything mean? What does Band Katai? Who is that referring to? We're going to break down Ardas into, I think it's 40 weeks, we're breaking it down into, and it'll be very historical. So the Japji Sahib courses, these guys are doing a great job of, you know, mixing the Gurbani and telling stories with that, but that'll be more itihas heavy, more history related. So it'll be a lot of historical things you'll learn about. And if you can understand the Ardas, you can understand a lot of Sikhi just through the Ardas itself. So that'll be next year, and something to look forward to with the current speakers and also new speakers and special guest speakers as well. So proper pulling all the things out of the bag for you guys. So that'll be next year. But I'll stop talking now. Pass over to Manpreet Singh for today's talk, and yeah, thank you so much, Jio. WhyGuru Ji ka Khalsa, WhyGuru Ji ki Fateh.
WhyGuru Ji ka Khalsa, WhyGuru Ji ki Fateh. So thank you all for coming today. Thank you for making your way through the rush outside. So this is week 38, and we're on Body 36, so almost to the end, like Bhai Sahib said. And just like every week, we're going to start off with a Mool Mantra. So let's close our eyes and let's do this Mool Mantra together. Ik Oankar Satnam Karta Purkh Nirpao Nirvair Akal Murat Ajuni Saipang Gur Prasad Jap Ad Sach Jugad Sach Happy Sach Nanak Hosi Pi Sach Ad Sach Jugad Sach Happy Sach Nanak Hosi Pi Sach. WhyGuru Ji ka Khalsa. Okay, so kicking off, we're going to have a very quick recap. 7 stages we talked about in Body 32. We're going to go through where we're up to now. So in Body 32, Guru Nanak Dev Ji is saying, Lakh lakh gera akhiya hai, ek naam Jagdish. So they say that this naam of Jagdish, this name of the One, they would repeat it again and again and again. They're teaching us about meditation, and that this is the first stage. It's called Shubh Icha. It's a good, positive desire to have, to meditate and to work our way through these stages. Then in Body 33, Maharaj says, Jis hat jor karve kheso. It is all about realization, about contemplating, suvicharana, contemplating that we don't have any power, right? Contemplating that actually the One has all the power. They're doing everything. Then we get on to stage 3, Tanmansa, the subtle mind. Here we're at Dharamkhand. And at Dharamkhand we realize Gachbagaye Utthe that we're going to get judged one day on everything we do. So this is all about righteousness, doing the right thing. Then Body 35, we get to Gyan Khand. Gyan meaning spiritual knowledge. And here we're at a state of realization. So this realization is all about kehte pavan pani vesantara kehte gaan mahes, that there's so many demigods, there's so many elements, bani, different types of water, different types of air, different types of fire, right? We're getting all of this knowledge. Now, to kick us off this week, I'm going to introduce you to a character. This person's name is Neo, and he's a character in a film called The Matrix. Now, Neo works a normal 9-to-5 job, like many of us, very mundane life, nothing too exciting. And as he's living this life, he knows deep down inside that there's more to it, but he just can't put his finger on why, what it is. It's like burning him inside. He's living this life, but he knows there's more, he just doesn't know what the answer is. So he searches and searches, and eventually he finds someone called Morpheus. And Morpheus tells him that you're actually part of an illusion called the Matrix. And I've got a little clip of their conversation. I'm just going to play it now.
Matrix. Do you want to know what it is? The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now in this very or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. What truth? That you are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind.
A prison for your mind. Right? So Neo is living in this illusion. Someone has come from outside of the illusion into it and is now telling Neo that you're part of this thing that you see. It's not real. It's called the Matrix, right? And this is very similar to our relationship with our Guru. So our Guru has come here to tell us that actually what we're part of isn't real. So our Guru says things like, Lahe karana aya jug, that we came into this jug, we came into this world to take laha, to earn a profit. What's that profit? To meditate, right? So that's the point of our life, to actually meditate. But what's happened to us? Now that we're in the world, what's happened to us? Maharaj says, we've been mugged. They say we've been mugged off. They say, Hoy majur, gaya tagaye tag, that we've become a slave. Right? Similar language to what Morpheus is using. I'm pretty sure he must have seen this Bhakti beforehand, but this is what our Guru is saying, that we've become a slave, and this illusion, this Maya, it's affecting our ability to progress spiritually. So what I mean by that is this Maya, this illusion, it's like, you know, like they say the rat race, right? Everyone wants to be famous or drive a nice car or cars, clothes, money, all of these things in the world, all these worldly things. It takes us away from the truth, which is actually we're here to meditate, right? We're here to take laha. So the Guru's come to tell us the truth. The Guru has come to free us. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji, they start Bodhi 36 by summarizing Gyan Khand, so the previous Khand. They say Gyan Khand Mahe Gyana Parachand. So here we have different types of knowledge of air, like we said, knowledge of different types of water, different types of fire, right? All of these amazing things. They say Dithe Nad Binod Kord Anand. In Gyan Khand, you get so much bliss. Kord Anand. It's so beautiful. Why? Because you're seeing all of these beings, Binod, all of these beautiful beings you're seeing, and you're also listening to the Nad. So earlier in Japji Sahib, Maharaj says, Gavehe Isar Barma Devi, Sohan Sada Savari, that all of these demigods, they're all singing the praises of the One. So here in Gyan Khand, we're actually seeing it, right? And we are amazed by how beautiful it is. But the problem is that we are at this stage only getting knowledge. We are learning that, oh, okay, this world exists. Okay, this demigod exists. Okay, there's different types of fire. There's different types of water. What is the problem with just learning knowledge? With just getting gyan? What do you guys think is a potential problem? If we just like come to the Gurdwara and we just learn, what could it do to us? Potentially. There's a bit of a danger, Hanji Darshan. Spot on. Top answer. So Darshan says that it's dangerous because you can develop an ego. We've all seen it, right? When someone knows something, they think they know something, chest gets a bit bigger, they start putting other people down, saying, you don't know this, I'm higher than you, right? Just from that knowledge of something, they put themselves higher, right? So it's quite dangerous. They also, like Darshan says, don't necessarily put it into practice. Knowing about Sikhi and living Sikhi are very different things, massively different. There are people that live Sikhi that don't actually know a lot. And there are people that know a lot about Sikhi but don't actually live it. Okay? So we've got to put it into practice. There's no point just having loads of knowledge. And this is the choice given to Neo. He's given a choice by Morpheus, who hands him 2 pills. One's a blue pill, one's a red pill. He says, Neo, if you eat this blue pill, you're going to wake up tomorrow and you're going to be back in the illusion. You're going to forget that we had this conversation. You're going to forget that I even told you about the matrix. You're going to go back into the sleep state. Or if you take the red pill, this red pill on the left that he's reaching for, he says, if you take that red pill, there's no going back after that. That's it. But I'm going to take you on a journey of realization. You are going to realize everything there is to know about this matrix, but there's no going back. So we're going to pause the story of Neo just there for a sec, and we're going to talk about the different states of our being. So generally we fall into 3 distinct states, and the first state that we fall into is Jagat Avastha. Right? This is when we are awake. Hopefully everyone's still awake, right? So we are in Jagat Avastha, we are awake, all right? And then the next one, as you can probably imagine, is Supan Avastha. You are asleep. So this is the opposite of being awake. But here, you're sleeping, but you're dreaming, right? We've all had dreams. That's Supan Avastha, okay? So we're either awake, we're either dreaming, or we could be asleep, but not dreaming. You know when you wake up in the morning, you know you haven't had a dream, but you've had such a deep sleep, your mouth's open, probably been snoring, yeah, really deep sleep. That's called Sukorbat Avastha, where you're completely dreamless, right? It's just a deep state of sleep. So these 3 stages, being awake, dreaming, and being in a deep sleep, apply to the stages of spirituality. Okay, so stage 1 to 3 are all grouped together. Now at stage 1 you've got Shubh-Icha, then you start to contemplate, then you have a subtle mind at Dhanmansa, stage 3. At these 3 stages, you're either awake, or you're asleep and dreaming, or you're in a deep sleep. So my question to you guys is, what state do you think someone is? So they just started off their journey, they've got a long way to go. Put your hands up if you think they're awake at this stage. If someone's awake. Or put your hands up if you think they're dreaming at this stage. And put your hands up if you think they're in a deep sleep. They don't know anything. Right. Okay, so a lot of hands up for a deep sleep. What's interesting is they're actually at Jagat Avastha. They're actually awake. So this first stage of this spiritual ladder we're climbing, someone's awake, they're Jagat. And as they go through stage 4, Sattvapat is on its own, that's when you're in a dream state. And then as you go deeper, stages 5 and 6, where you have no bodily ego, where everything is the one, you are in a completely dreamless state. you are so deep in sleep. So as we progress spiritually, part of our being is falling asleep. And my question to you guys is, what do you think is falling asleep? As we get closer to our Guru, what part of our being is becoming less and less and less? What's falling asleep? So we can say our soul is awakening, right? A lot of people say we have a spiritual awakening. So we can say our Atma's having an awakening, but there's part of us that falls asleep. Has anyone got any guesses? Hanji Darshan. Kind of duality, yeah, because you're realizing that you're one. But where does duality come from? Where does it live inside us, our being? Yep, bunch jawed. And what's the sort of headline thing for the bunch jawed? What are they? Where do they live? So close. Anyone else? Any guesses? Hanji Viji. In your man, yes. In your mind. Your mind starts falling asleep as you get closer to your Guru. And that might not make sense. You might be thinking, hold on a minute, I don't get that. But it doesn't make sense to your mind. Alright? Listen to this carefully. It doesn't make sense to your mind that your mind should start falling asleep as you progress spiritually. Why? Because your mind says that if I'm sleeping, then how can you be awake? It is tricking us into thinking that we are our mind. As you may have heard, we are not our mind. We are not our thoughts. Right? So this is how our mind is keeping us in this illusion. Right? We are slaves to our mind. Wherever our mind takes us, whatever we want to think about, some of you right now might be looking at this, listening to me, but mind might be way elsewhere. Thinking about the fireworks, right? That's how powerful our mind is. It's keeping us from realizing what we truly are, and it's keeping us tied into this illusion, this maya, this matrix. So that's why Mara says, Mana jite, jag jit. If you conquer your mind, if your Guru blesses you and you conquer your mind, then you've won this game. You've won the whole world. Game over, finished. You crossed that finish line. So the whole path of Sikhi is about conquering your mind. And this is why, as we get closer to our Guru, we actually go into a more dreamless state. Because our mind starts quietening as our soul starts elevating. Okay. I've got a quick clip now of Neo trying to conquer his mind.
You have to let it all go, Neo. Fear, doubt, and disbelief. Free your mind. Whoa. Okie dokie. Free my mind.
What if he makes it?
Let's if I make the first jump.
I know. But what if he does?
He won't.
Come on.
Right. No problem. Free my mind. Free my mind. No problem. Right.
Man, he was so close, wasn't he? When I first watched this, I really thought he was going to make it. I so wanted him to make it. So he started off great. He was like, free your mind, free your mind. He's talking himself through it. Yes, I'm going to free my mind. And he even took a run up to the edge of the ledge and had a massive jump. And I reckon he probably got about halfway before the fear kicked in, before his mind took over. So Neo's trying to conquer his mind, but he's not there yet. If he was there, he would have made the jump, just like Morpheus made the jump. But he failed because he hadn't conquered his mind yet. So now we're going to go through the next stage. So after Gyan Khand, we get to Saram Khand. Now Saram Khand, we're at stage 5 of the spiritual ladder. So where we have no bodily ego, right? So in Neo's example, when someone's here, they're not worried about if they fall. They're not worried about pain or anything like that. You're literally watching everything. Alright, this is called asanskar. You're watching everything happen, you're not a part of it. You are fully detached from the world. So this is called Saram Khand. Saram means many different things, but for today, we'll take it to mean humility, this state of humility. So Maharaj starts off by saying Saram Khand ki Bani Roop. Now the previous Khand, Gyan Khand, was all about looking outwards, realizing that there's so many different demigods, there's different types of water and different worlds. Now Saram Khand is all about looking inwards, having humility, that sharam, that shame. Why is it shame? Because we realize at this stage how far away we are from the One, how long we've been separated from the One, all the bad things we've done. We start to have sharam. That is the opposite of that knowledge, right? So knowledge is kind of giving us ego if we don't use it in the right way. When we get to sharam, we look at ourselves, we start looking inwardly. So this is all about transformation. So Maharaj says Saram Khand ki Bani Roops, that someone's Bani, someone's words even start to become beautiful. It's all about transformation now. We start to change. So humility, this Saram, it's so deep. It's the complete opposite of ego. Ego says I am something. Humility says in Saram, I'm nothing. And just a quick example. Guru Amar Das Ji, they were a sevadar of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, the second Guru. Right? So the third Guru was a sevadar of the second Guru. Even though the third Guru at that time was much, much older. Right? So it's quite weird to see such an old sevadar in terms of age. So at this point, they would have been called Baba Amar Das, right? Our third Guru would have been called Baba Amar Das. And one day they're walking with their Guru. And as they're walking, they make sure they stay behind Guru Nanak Dev Ji, the second Guru. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji is walking in front, Baba Amar Das Ji is walking behind. After some time, Guru Nanak Dev Ji turns around, they say, come, stand next to me and let's walk. Baba Amar Das Ji, they start walking, listen to what their Guru says, they start walking, but they're looking with so much focus at Guruji's legs, at how their feet are moving. Why? Because they didn't want to put themselves in front of their own Guru. Right? And as they're walking, they're looking at the feet, and then they're walking, and then at one point, Baba Amar Das Ji puts his arm over his body, and he starts walking with one arm only. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji turns around and he goes, what's wrong with you? Why have you stopped using that arm? What's wrong? Baba Amar Das Ji says, I hate this arm. I don't want this arm anymore. I'm going to chop it off. It doesn't belong on my body anymore, this arm. I'm not using it anymore. Guru Nanak Dev Ji's like, whoa, that's quite strong. Like, where's this come from? We're just walking. Why do you hate your arm so much? He goes, Maharaj, when I was walking, I was just looking at my feet, making sure they're in your jal, in line with you, right? But because I was concentrating on your feet, my arm went in front of you. Just a little bit, Maharaj. And I'm so sorry. I'm so angry at my arm for doing this. I'm so angry at myself for making this mistake. So much so, I want to chop it off. So this is a metaphor. This Sakhi is a metaphor. And Guru Amar Das Ji themselves in Sri Anand Sahib, they say, Bhagata ki chal, this lifestyle is very nirali. It's very unique. Someone who is a Bhagat of God, someone who's following God's path, they do things that people in the world don't do. They wake up early in the morning. They meditate. They don't care about giving into anger or lust or greed or anything that's going on in their mind. They don't care. They only care about meditation. They say, Jala nirali bhagata keri bikkham marg jala. It's a very bikkham marg, very difficult path these saints follow. Right? So Maharaj is saying that this Sakhi is a metaphor for not living in line with your Guru. So how Baba Amar Das Ji was walking behind their Guru, that's really what we want to be doing. We want to be taking our Guru's example. So remember, when it comes to anything with Sikhi, here it's about humility. Our Gurus don't only talk about it, but they lived it themselves. They are the living example for us. So they stayed behind their Guru, and even when they went side by side to their Guru, they never wanted to come in front. So what does that mean for us? when we listen to what our Guru is telling us and we follow it through and through, when we meditate, when we do our Japji Sahib, like Maharaj tells us to, we are following our Guru. But when we start to think, well, nah, I know a bit better than that, that's when we've come in front of our Guru. That's when we've stepped in front of Guru Angad Dev Ji. Right? So it's a very deep, this humility goes very, very deep. Okay, so in Saramkhand, you see all of your bad karams. Right? You see how long you've been separated from the one. So Guru Amar Das Ji here, again in Sri Anand Sahib, they say, Anek juni param ave, vin satguru mukt na paye. That someone, we've been born many, many times. Anek juni. We've been born as all of these life forms, different animals, different people. Who knows how long this journey of ours has been? Anek juni param ave, vin satguru. Without a satguru, without someone from outside of this illusion coming in and telling us, hey, you better wake up, this isn't what life's about. Life's not about just how much money you've got. Life's not about how nice your clothes are or your car is. Life's actually about meditation and connection, right? Without that, we can't get off this circle of reincarnation. Okay, so we can't use that sadham, that humility. Once we realize how far away we are from the one, we can't use that and say, oh, I can't be saved. I've done so many bad things in my life. This isn't for me, I better leave it. I'm too bad. Now, we have to use that humility to get closer to our Guru. Okay? So, Saramkhand. So, Maharaj goes on to say that here in Saramkhand, that the people that are created here, again, this is about transformation. It's about taking something that isn't perfect and Guruji makes it perfect, bit by bit by bit. Okay, so they're making someone beautiful, but not beautiful in an external sense. They're making someone beautiful in the eyes of the one. Right? So someone might look the part. They might have a really tidy dastar, might look the part as a Sikh. Someone like Sajjan Thug. Right? They've done so much for people. Everyone loved Sajjan Thug. But inside, they were mele. They were so mele. Baro nirmal, jio mele. Right? They were so evil inside. They were a robber. The worst murderer they were, Sajjan Thug. Maharaj here is talking about someone who's becoming beautiful in God's eyes. And to be beautiful in the eyes of the one, it's someone who has sweet speech. Someone who speaks the truth, no matter what. Someone who lives with love. Okay, so this is all about transformation. Maharaj goes on to say, "Ta kiya galla kathiya na jaye," that we cannot comprehend Saramkhand. We cannot describe Saramkhand. I'm going to give you guys a little example. Let's just say I went on a theme park ride, a roller coaster, right? And I come to you guys and I'm like, oh, this roller coaster is really cool, you got to check it out. It starts off like this, your legs are dangling, starts off slow, and then you go here and there, and then you end up really high. Do you have any idea what it's like to be on that roller coaster? No. Even though I've described it, even though I've shown you videos, even though I've shown you pictures, everything, you still haven't experienced what it's like. The best way for you to find out what that roller coaster is actually like is to ride it yourself. Get there yourself. Right? And this is a bit like Saramkhand. It's beyond our mind. A description, if I say, oh, this ride is like this ride is like that, it's coming from my mind. It's our mind speaking to each other, right? But Saramkhand is beyond the mind. You can never describe this. And even if someone does try and describe this spiritual state that's so high, what happens? They'll regret it. They'll regret ever trying to fully describe what Saramkhand is like. Why? Because it's beyond description. So this talk, unfortunately, was doomed right from the beginning. Right? I can never. The whole talk's gone out the window now. We can never fully describe what someone is when they get to such a high spiritual state. Okay, so remember our friend Neo took that leap of faith, made the jump. So when he couldn't conquer his mind, when he was still bound by fear, bound by doubt, bound by his body that he didn't want to get hurt, he didn't make the jump. But what happens is over time he follows Morpheus, right? He follows Morpheus's advice and he starts to go beyond the mind. He goes beyond logic, and eventually he's able to stop bullets. I haven't got a video clip of this thing, but it's really cool. If anyone hasn't seen it, definitely check it out. He gets to the end of the film and he realizes that even if someone's shooting at me, I don't have to move. I can stop those bullets. It's beyond logic, right? So he's essentially transformed. This film, The Matrix, is all about transformation, and it links into what Guru Nanak Dev Ji is trying to do to us. We're not saying that anyone's going to be able to dodge bullets, by the way. Yeah, Basics of Sikhi will not be liable for anyone getting shot, right? So we're not saying that, but this is all about someone who's transforming, someone who's gone beyond their mind, what their brain is telling them. So Maharaj goes on to say, that our consciousness, right, this surti of ours starts to transform as well. We start to let go of our brain, our mind. We realize that I'm not this mind. I'm more than this mind. I am an Atma. I'm actually a soul. There's something deeper inside me. Right? It's a bit like Neo right at the beginning. He knew there was something in there, but now someone's come along and has told him. Now someone's experiencing who they truly are. They've gone beyond their mind at this stage. So they've gone free from that prison. And Maharaj goes on to say, Sura Siddha ki Suddha. That someone here at Saramkhand, they reached the level of Sura. All of these demigods that they were looking at before, wow, that person's amazing, wow, this god is in control of that. At Saramkhand, they've become at that level themselves. Sura, Siddha, all of the spiritual people who walked this path before and got to that level, this person is now at their level as well. Right? So again, all about transformation, but through Saram, through that humility. And someone who had a lot of humility was obviously Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji. Now today we remember Bandi Chor, where Guruji freed those prisoners. Maharaj went into prison because they wanted to. They weren't captured, right? They weren't arrested. They went into that prison, Gwalior, the place where no one leaves unless they're dead. They even had a cremation ground within the prison, cremation ground and a burial ground, depending on what faith you're in. No one leaves. Once you're in, you're not coming out. That's the place where Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji went in. They had so much humility. They knew they had something to do. And this Sakhi, sometimes when we listen to it, when we listen to Bandi Chor, it's like, oh yeah, great, Maharaj done this. Maharaj saved those prisoners. Don't look at it like a faraway Sakhi that happened many, many years ago. This is still happening now. This is still happening. Our Guru has walked into our illusion, our lives, our pretty little bubbles that we're so comfortable with, and they're saying, hey, look, there's more to your life than this. No amount of money is going to make you happy. People aren't going to make you happy. What's going to make you happy? By connecting to where you've come from, connecting to the one. Right? So we are a bit like those prisoners that Maharaj frees. So we are imprisoned by our ego, by our minds, all of this anger, all of this doubt, this greed, this lust. We are stuck in this prison like those prisoners. We are slaves. But Vin Satguru Muktanabai. Without a Satguru, without someone coming in and freeing us, we would have stayed in that state. But what's happened now? Maharaj has come in and they're saving us. So all we got to do is listen to their teachings. So with this animation, it makes me laugh. So the Diwali animation, one of the most common comments we get on the video is that, guys, great animation, loved everything apart from one bit. Does anyone want to guess? Apart from one bit, a lot of people have a big problem with, they just don't get it. Anyone want to guess? I hope everyone's seen the animation, please. If you haven't seen it, please go home and watch it. But the bit that people don't get is this bit. By Jethaji, by Paranaji, they turn into lions. So many comments. They say, believed everything. Lovely animation, well done, guys. But I don't believe this. This is too much. You've taken it too far. This isn't Sikhi. people can't turn into lions. Why isn't that making sense? What is it not making sense to? Our mind. Our mind has not seen someone turn into a lion. So our mind says, impossible. It is wrong. Cannot happen. So we're still, do you get it? We're still trapped by our mind. We're still in that prison of logic, of this ego, that I know someone can't do that. The thing is, by Jetaji, by Baranaji, they were at such a high spiritual level. They were at Saramkand or beyond. This was nothing to this. This is child's play to people like this. That's nothing. They're beyond this. So in Gurbani, Guruji talks about the form of Narsing, right? When the one took the form of a half human, half lion to kill a demon. They were born from a pillar. To kill the demon, they put them on their lap and tore their body apart with their claws. Now our mind says, impossible. I've never seen a half man, half human, right? But the one is beyond logic. They created logic, so they're beyond it. They can do whatever they want. And the closer we get to the one, we realize how much they can do whatever they want and how powerless we actually are. Right, so this is all about how we're getting transformed. So I was going to tell a Sakhi, but I want everyone here just to think about your Sakhi, the Sakhi of your lives, the story of your lives. I know some of you are quite young, but even at this age, I'm sure even you youngsters would have gone through something terrible, something really bad in your life. Imagine taking yourself back 10, however many years, and you're telling your mind you're going to go through this and it's going to break you. You're going to go through this, you're going to feel crushed. These people, not just one, multiple people are going to betray you. People you thought you were your best friends. And it's going to kill you inside. Imagine telling your mind that right before it's all happened. Imagine telling your mind this book of all these bad things that's going to happen. Would your mind at that point say, yeah, okay, I can do that? No. Your mind will say, impossible. How can I go through so much pain? How can I get over that person breaking my heart like that? How can I get over this really difficult period in my life? No way. That sounds too much. But we done it, right? We done it. Everything that we've been through doesn't make sense to our mind if we said it beforehand. But it's only because we've been through it that our mind accepts that yes, we can get through it. But if you took yourself back 10, 20, however many years and said you're going to go through all of this, no way would your mind accept it. It would say impossible, cannot happen. It's still bound by logic. But you're here. Whether you've been through something in the past or whether you're going through something right now, you're fighting through it. You're still here. You're still here in your Guru Ghar. So by acknowledging that your mind isn't always right, you've taken the first step to conquering it. Okay? So, like I said, we are like these prisoners, and our gurus come to free us from our minds. It's why they're called Bandi Chor, the liberator, right? So, Bodhi 36 was all about transformation, about going beyond the mind, freeing yourself from the mind, right? And becoming beautiful in God's eyes. But what have we got to do? We got to do one thing, and that is take hold of our Guru. That's all we got to do. Just hold on to our Guru. So my question to you guys is now, as we finish off, how do we hold on to our Guru? What do we do that means that, yes, Maharaj, I'm holding on to you, I've got you. You've got me and I've got you. What do we do? Could be anything. Could be something really simple. Could be something really complex. Any ideas? What sort of things do we do? Garamveer Singh, any ideas? Hanji, right at the back. Seva, brilliant. Do seva. Right? Our Guru tells us to do seva. When we do seva, we know we're following our Guru. Just like Baba Amar Das Ji was following their Guru, we're following our Guru. Hanji Darshan. WhyGuru. So Darshan says that even if you're doing a Mool Mantar, one Mool Mantar, so in terms of quantity, we would say that's not that much. It's just one Mool Mantar. But what Darshan says is really interesting. She says, what if you done it with all your heart, where every word, every pronunciation was done with love? Then that's worth a lot, right? So you put in your meditation in with love, and yes, that's what our Guru tells us to do. Anything else, guys? Hanji Seva Singh. So Seva Singh says Shastar is our beer. We as Sikhs, as the Khalsa, we worship Shastar. So if we have weapons on us, we're following our Guru. Hanji Ravinder Singh, do you have anything? Making an effort to come and see your Guru, definitely. So you guys, just by being here right now, just by stepping through those doors, after getting through that really busy crowd, by stepping through those doors and being here right now, you could have been anywhere in the world. Everyone's got so much to do. Everyone's so busy. I get it. But you're here. You're here to learn. You came to experience that you might take something away. You might feel something you can't put into words. And that, when we do that, whether we step through the doors of our Gurdwara, whether we open our Gurdka Sahib to do our part, we've literally grabbed onto Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji Maharaj. Make no mistake about it. When we go with our Guru to Sachkhand, right? When our Guru goes Sachkhand and we all follow them, that is literally Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji in front of us, and we are the prisoners that they're freeing. It's our Guru that's gonna get us there. Just like Baba Amar Das Ji followed their Guru, Guru Angad Dev Ji, we follow our Guru, physically and metaphorically, by following what they teach us to do. It's our Guru that's going to get us there, to that finish line. They're going to take us through all these stages. We don't have to worry. All we got to do is follow. That's it. Just follow. Even if you start small, just one little thing. All we got to do is follow and keep following. Don't let go. Okay, Satsangji, we've come to the end of the talk. Apologies for any mistakes that I've made. Has anyone got any questions before we wrap up for today? Or any vichar, any thoughts of your own? Anji. So the question is, when we move through these spiritual stages, how do you know what stage you're at? And it's similar to the roller coaster analogy, I would say, because when you're there, you know you're there. If you have to question it, then you're not there. I think you get to that stage of realization that you just know. But even as you're going through those stages, you still have that level of humility that I'm still nothing. Even though deep down you might know, yeah, like I can literally see all of my karams. I'm at Saramkhand. I can see how far away I am from my Guru. Right? But you still, even though you have all that gyan of all of these different beings, you get so many stories of people being able to see all of these different worlds, but even then, we keep ourselves grounded because we've still got a long way to go. So I would say, to answer your question, if it's a question, then you're not there. If it's beyond doubt, you're there. Because this is our chance to connect. So the human life, so the question was, well, then why come back in the human life? So God, the One, has given us a chance. So they've given us this human body where at the top of our heads is a dasam dwar, there's an energy center here. Through that, we connect to the One. And our Guru has come to show us the way. Only human beings can do that. Only human beings can meditate and open this 10th gate, dasam dwar. Maharaj talks about it quite a lot. So that's why we've come back, because we haven't completed that journey yet. So what was the One done? They said, right, try again. So now look, we've been given our Guru. We've been given a country where we're relatively free. Right? No one's oppressing us majorly here, despite what might be going on elsewhere in the world. So we've got a prime chance to complete this journey. Otherwise, you keep coming back. So that's why we got to make the most of this. We've got it. All the tools are there in front of us. We've just got to do it. It's just like someone having knowledge of something, but not actually putting it into practice. Sikhi is all about living it. You got to live Sikhi. You got to live it to feel it. There's no point just knowing about it and then that's it. Oh, I know this and I know that. I know this. Is that okay? Does that answer your question? Anyone else? Any questions, or just any vichar of your own? Any thoughts of your own? Hanji Viji. Hanji. So Viji's question is there any connection between this body, where someone can't describe it, and where Mara said manne ki gat kehe na jaye? So where someone who has mananat, who's had faith in the one, cannot describe the one. Personally, I would say yes. So someone who experiences the one, again, is beyond our brain. You can't fit the one into our brain. You can't. You can try, but like Mara says, you're going to regret it. You just can't do it. It's beyond description. Your brain's never going to understand it. So you've got to let go of this brain. So personally, I would say yes. It is the state of someone who's experienced the one and they realize that they can't even speak about it. Imagine a love so deep you can't even put it into words. Imagine. Is that right, Vijay? Anyone else before we wrap up? Okay, thank you guys so much. They were really good questions. I'll just hand over to Sahib. Like I said, please forgive me for all the mistakes I made. We're almost to the end of the Japji Sahib course now, only a few weeks left to go. And just thank you so much just for coming week in, week out. It really motivates us as speakers to keep doing and keep trying new things and keep trying to get better. So thank you so much. Let's finish off with the Fateh Ji. WhyGuru Ji ka Khalsa, WhyGuru Ji ki Fateh.
WhyGuru, thank you so much for preaching, and thank you to everybody as well. We'll finish off here. Guru Sahib Ji is not Prakash, Maharaj is not on Takht Sahib, so we can just finish here. So again, next week is by Gurpreet Singh Ji down from Canada, so please do come for that. And 3 more weeks left of the Japji Sahib course. So thank you guys. If you've got any questions, ask in private, please harass Gurpreet Singh. Okay ji. WhyGuru Ji ka Khalsa. WhyGuru.